My name is Dan Bressler. Today's date is January 22nd, 2003. On September 11th, 2001, I was in the D ring, 4th floor of Wedge 1, right above where the plane hit the building. I was in a mechanical room that was actually in between the C and D ring, open to the window well. At the time of the impact, the explosion knocked me around the room a little. The outside air louvers were open, and I saw flames shoot up from underneath, from the window well from the 2nd floor. Not knowing what had happened and having no previous knowledge of the attack on the World Trade Centers, just was making my way out of the building through the C ring out to corridor 4. My first thought that day, I had 2 other employees with me here that I was responsible for. I had sent them to different parts of Wedge 1, and my first concern was finding them and making sure they were okay. I didn't see, on the 4th floor, I didn't see too much damage. There was a couple broken windows, some hysterical people, but no real damage. I worked my way down the stairwell, came out on the 3rd floor, and there was some smoke and some damage, but everybody seemed to be making it to the exits. When I came out on the 2nd floor, the ceiling was down, the sprinkler system was working. The hallway, corridor 4, was filled with smoke. I made my way back to another stairwell, went down to the 1st floor, and came out on the A-ring side of A&E Drive. When I walked out into A&E Drive, there was still debris falling, insulation blowing, smoke coming out into A&E Drive, and I looked down corridor 4 where I had sent one of my apprentices to work, and I saw flames and smoke and realized that there was nothing left in there. At that time, several people ran up A&E Drive and were directing everybody to leave the building, and I didn't know if it was just a fire in the building. The heliport was right outside of Wedge 1 where we'd been working, and my first thought was that a helicopter had possibly hit the building because they came in and out on a regular basis. And now that I think about it, I tell people that I heard just a hum in the background, a strange humming noise, and now I realize that being so close to where the impact was, and that it was, I don't recall an explosion, so it must have been the explosion causing the hearing problem. As temporary as it was. And I made my way out of the building and found one of my associates immediately, and we were still being directed out off the site out to the parking lot. There was a lot of people still speculating as to what happened. A lot of people hadn't heard about the World Trade Center at that time, and everybody was congregating in the south parking, and we looked for everybody. It was a pretty neat feeling. All the other construction workers were checking on each other. Everybody who knew everybody from such a large job, so many people in there, but everybody took the time to make sure that that everybody could find their workers. Everybody checked, made sure that everybody was together. There was a couple anxious moments where people went out a different door, and everybody was run around trying to find everybody, but word spread pretty fast, that everybody was okay. And then we got the information as to what happened, and about 5 minutes after we were out in the parking lot, the military police came through telling us to leave that parking lot because of the plane that eventually crashed in Shanksville. They had word that the plane was in the air, and they thought we might be a second target, so everybody was moved back away from the area. And of course, we couldn't leave the immediate area because all the roads were shut down and blocked, and it took several hours before we were able to get in our vehicles and leave. Since then, I wanted to get back, I guess, for the closure, to come back and work on the rebuild. It was something that was very important to me, was to continue working here. And the Pentagon it's a special building, and I think everybody who works here forms a relationship with the building. And most of the people I talk to about working here after 9/11 was that they wanted to get back to this space, and they wanted to get back and work in this building.